I'll tell you what, this car has been off and on 3 times today. It is 18 Fahrenheit. It was cold all day. And just reference for you, 1 foot of fell, more than a foot of snow fell last night. It was not a nice night. Blizzard. I wonder if we didn't prematurely cancel Northfield though, because it stopped snowing around 3 o'clock. I don't know if it's supposed to start up again. It may very well start up again. I don't know. But if it's now done for the day, I think the cancellation of Northfield 2 days out was a bit much. But again, I guess everybody has to get to the track, right? So if the roads aren't great, it doesn't really matter. So I guess that's unfair to say. Nevertheless, they're canceled tonight. No racing tonight. Now, yesterday, I went to the Meadows, and the story of the week has been the weather. Just insane. Cold, freezing cold, bitter all week. Snow. The track was hard. The one night we had to race the 2 fillies and the colt. The track, Memento Mori, Tally the Tab, and Allure. The track was like this deep. I went to the gate with Memento Mori. It was a blizzard. You couldn't see a foot in front of your face. It was insanity. But that's the story of the week, has been the weather. And the Meadows yesterday, it was so cold. It was at least minus 20 before the wind chill Celsius. When we went on the track, with Tymus on my side, the mile he went was absolutely gargantuan. It was unbelievable. 50-4 on a freezing cold day. You can say, oh, well, Anthony, the track was pretty good for the middle of the winter. It was freezing out. And the mile he went was just, it was huge. And, we raced the other 2 horses. Trosa raced great. The other guy, HB Liz Shadow, what a bugger. I couldn't get him pulled up. So I just let him rattle down the backstretch afterwards. Said, I'm not pulling on you. I'll get you pulled up in the far turn. No. He just went around again, past the winner's circle, past the turn, got him pulled up. He started to go 100, back to the paddock. I'm like, what are you doing? The race has been over for like 5 minutes. My arms felt like they were 9 feet long by the time I got back. He had me stretched out. I don't know what got into him. I guess we can come first over with him next week if he's going to have lungs on him like an elephant. My God. All 3 of those horses raced great. Got home last night. Was laying in bed around 9 o'clock, and I said, you know what, Amy? I was going to watch that movie that just came out, the one, the Neil Diamond thing with Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, I think. Sung Blue. It got good reviews. I was a little torn on it, but I said, we'll watch that. And I just went, you know what? I'm not feeling the greatest. Maybe I'll just go to bed. From 11:30 last night till 7 o'clock this morning, I never slept a wink, and I threw up all night long. Now, Addie brought a bug home, but I thought Addie gets sick real easy. Nobody in the house obviously usually gets sick right away when Addie does. And Addie was thrown up for a day or so also. She's fine now, just like I feel a lot better now. But I'm going to tell you what, I lost 5.2 pounds from 11:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning. And I haven't ate a thing all day. I wasn't going to do these videos, but I was feeling a little bit better. And I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I said, you know what? I never drink, you guys call it soda over here. I never drink pop. Just never do. I don't even know what's in the house, but I saw a bottle of root beer in the fridge. I said, you know what? I might drink that bottle of root beer. I don't think that was a good idea. I'm not feeling it right now. I'll make it through the video, but not a good choice. I feel like Ron Burgundy. This milk was not a good choice on a hot day. So last week, the weather, right? We started off our week with, Sunday we finished our week. Winter Soldier was good. Drebin was fantastic. Bridge over Broadway was awesome. Greatest Ending, we sold him after the race. I told you guys, we're going to move out those ladder horses. Those horses racing in the middle conditions. I know every week I'll have somebody make me an argument why it's a good idea. It isn't. Not in my mind, and I'm not racing them. I'll keep the condition horses. We might even get a claimer here and there, but I'm not racing horses that, you never know who you're in with. Greatest Ending raced against 3 open horses the other night. Now, what was his purse? It was 13.5. But he had 3 open horses in there, and he ended up 6. Somebody messaged me after the race asking me if he was for sale, and we sold him. Trosa, again, handicap with the 8-hole. He went to the Meadows the other day and raced fantastic. Sunday back Saturday. A little close for him, but he raced very good. And then NASA was flat. Had some mucus, but we ended up putting him on preferred for tomorrow. We'll see. For every Bridge over Broadway and Tally the Tab and Allure that we buy, we're going to get an Nassau or 2. It's just the way it is. And recognizing what they are and what they aren't and getting rid of them at the appropriate time. We kept them too long. But I gave him every opportunity. There's a horse on his Mohawk Lines that looked like he was going to make that immediate impact at Northfield. And it just didn't happen. So we'll see what happens with NASA on Monday. Rose Run Bobby, she bled the other day. I did not know that until that afternoon. The next afternoon I came in and Amy said they came by and scoped her and there was still blood there. So quite a bit of blood. So we'll see. She has to be better. Her mechanics are nice. You could tell she raced like a bleeder. She looked like she was advancing and then slowly just fizzled out. No fight coming out of the last turn. That's how a bleeder looks. And that's exactly how she scoped. Arrowhead Hanover made a very rare break 2 weeks ago. And then I know Tony Morgan probably wishes he had that race back the other day. I'm certainly not going to critique Tony Morgan. But it looked like he was going to quarter pole to the front. Instead, it ended up being a premature first over bid. And he was out the whole way. Now they let him drop down in the class he belongs, but lo and behold, he draws the 8-hole. Tenacious Hanover. We talk all the time about some horses when they race sore, and they are sore for a while, and then you go ahead and you get them sound like he is now. There's some trepidation there, right? There's some holdback, some hesitation, and we want to break through that. We want to chew through that and get back to, the horse he was when he wasn't sound, because now he is. So we'll see if we can continue to chip away at Tenacious Hanover. Now, Wednesday we had to scratch Woodmere Betcha. Her AST was a little high, which has become a point of a bit of a problem because with the weather and the track, we haven't been able to train her up. We had to get her AST down. The training day would have been Saturday, but it was minus 10 million out. So to train her, risk her bleeding, and risk her tying up again just made no sense. I said, you know what? We're just going to have to race her easy on Wednesday, and that's going to have to be what we do with Woodmere Betcha. Spitfire Overseas has had the outside. He's never raced good from the outside in his life, but he was a little rickety. We're going to have to work on his shoeing this week, and we'll bring him back down to Miami Valley. We brought him back after his race the other day. Yo Mister lost a shoe leaving, but raced exceptionally good. I was on pins and needles watching him race. I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know how he'd do. He was great. Very, very good. Memento Mori Allure and Tally the Tab all raced as well as they could in a snowstorm. Tally the Tab lost a shoe right front. Mori was literally in a blizzard, and the track was like that deep of snow. And then Allure, I knew when we went on the track, she can't get through that stuff, and she did not. Now, 3 Point Blue Chip in New York raced on Friday. 3 Point Blue Chip, I told you guys 2 weeks ago, if I move him, he's a winner, and he felt like he would. But I did move him into a flat horse on Friday, and he did not win. He was 6th or 7th and didn't race great. He belongs in there, but he's a shadow of the horse he was before, and his terms are still the same, right? He raced me my way, or I don't race good. And now he's not as fast as he was before. So we're going to have to just protect him. He does belong in that class. He's going to continue to draw the inside because he's in for 16. Stay left, cover him up, keep him confident, and hope that he can wheel off 1 or 2 in a row. And then in New York, I thought a mile and 2, 1 and 4 on a freezing cold night at Flamborough Downs was a great mile from him. His first start as a sophomore. We have lots of options with this guy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We paid a lot of money for horse racing at Flamborough Downs. My hope is that after a couple of starts, we can get him over to Mohawk. If we can't, I'll pay him into the Kentucky Fairs. We'll get him down to Kentucky to race in the Nomers of 1, Nomers of 2, Nomers of 3 in March if he still fits those. Hopefully he does not. And we can look at the fair program for him also. He gets around a smaller track really, really well. So the fairs in Kentucky may suit him very well also. Then we get to Saturday. Sunday's canceled. Nothing racing tonight. Time is on my side. Put up one of the best performances he's had in quite a while. A dominant performance on the front end in an unlikely fast mile. 50 and 4. And I'm telling you, it was minus 20 Celsius before the wind, and it was plenty windy. It was as cold as it could be without canceling. And for him to put that mile up was just ungodly. Trosa, 52 and a piece. HB Les Shadow, 53 and a piece. And I told Tim, I know we don't have a lot of Meadows horses right now. Every year this time it kind of thins out. But as they start to get ready and start to qualify, and we start to buy some more horses, we could do with another open trotter. We could do with another non-winners of 4, pacer and or trotter for over there. So we'll see what we can come up with in the coming weeks. If they're not available right now, but they will be at some point. Now, this coming week, we have Royal Flushdale who's going to race, highly anticipated. James has been very, very high on this horse. So we'll see how he does on Monday. Go Boom. I have my concerns with Go Boom. I want to see how he races. I talked about options with him in the older horse video that I did. So if you're a partner of mine in there, you don't like what you're hearing right now, scroll over to the racehorse video. I talked about him for quite a bit about what we're planning on doing, what my thoughts are, and the paths we have moving forward for Go Boom. And then this week we have Mortlock. Lost his mind a little bit last week, but he did tie up and he did blow a quarter crack. So we fixed the quarter crack. His AST should be down to normal now. He is going to be a little short on Tuesday, but he should do fine. And Royal Duchess, I was torn on putting her in. They were looking for a horse for the maiden claiming trot. And I said, yeah, you know what? She's not quite ready to go. But with this weather and the track, how am I going to get her ready to really ready to rock? Just put her in. Put her in where she can do. And I believe she is in where she can do, although she is 12-1 morning line. We'll see how she makes out on Tuesday. So I did bounce back off a pretty rough night. Really rough night. It was so weird. It just came on quick. I felt like $1 million when I got home from the Meadows yesterday. And then at 11 o'clock, I did not feel like $1 million. I threw up all night long, was weak, slept in till like noon. And then around 1:30, I decided that I was going to do these videos. Amy, of course, you knew exactly what's going to happen. I started to feel better around, feeling better around noon, right when she starts to feel terrible. She's been throwing up for the last 4 hours. So it's a quick moving bug, but I feel better now. I feel good now. I feel like 85% now, which is so weird. But I'm going to watch the end of the first football game, watch the second one, take it easy. I don't think I'll be filling my belly tonight. I'll be running a little thin through the night, but feel better now that I bounce back. And of course, with no racing tomorrow, it just gives me another day to get back in the swing of things. What I would like to see this week is us have an opportunity to train some horses up. We had 1 schooler, 3 qualifiers, 5 we trained in the race bike on Wednesday. We're getting a lot of horses really close to being able to go, and I want to make sure that we get an opportunity to do that this week. So there you have it. Your opening's only 12 minutes right now, but not a ton to talk about this week. When we talked about the babies, you know, I've been very happy with the way they've been training. There hasn't been anybody really let me down at this point. We had 7 or 8 horses that had to go over for OCD surgery. They're all done now. All the diagnostic work, all the medical work for all our babies for 2026 is done as of now. I don't foresee any issues right now with anybody else. I've been happy with what I saw. We always have stuff come up. Oh, horse pops a splint. Oh, horse pops a curb. You know, there's always stuff that will come up. But for right now, sitting in a car that's cooling down quickly because it just turned off, in an environment that's very cold, covered in snow, everything is covered in snow, it's been a pretty good week here in Ohio. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're having a great day. It looked like Denver was going to run away with the game, and I see at halftime it's tied up. I don't have a dog in the fight, but anytime you have a quarterback go, I'm going to cheer for the underdog. The Stidman kid come in, hasn't played, I don't think, all year. If he did, he played a couple of snaps. No, he played a couple of games, I think. But I'm eager to see how Denver does. So good luck to whoever you're cheering for today. Good luck to your teams. I will talk to you all soon. Have a great rest of whatever you want to call this snow-covered weekend. Take care.